everyone, and welcome to another episode of J. Cruzy Films. I'm your host, Jonah Cruzy, and these are my friends, Nathan and Jason. Yesterday, on Wednesday specifically, we saw this movie called The Good Dinosaur, because here at Wartburg, they have this thing called Movie Night, with a K, and you can get to see three different movies for $1. You go to one, watch it, all for only $1, plus snacks and such. So we went and saw The Good Dinosaur yesterday. Then again, since this is going to be uploaded Sunday, we saw The Good Dinosaur on Wednesday. And it wasn't really good, was it?
It wasn't good. I mean,
it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. So when we saw this, I just thought, you know what? There were so many things about this that I want to talk about, but I don't want to do it myself. So I thought, hey, let's do a review of it. So this is Jason, Nathan, and Jonah review. If that ever becomes a thing. Anyway, let's begin. Roll title sequence, if there's even going to be one. Okay. Now, this movie, when I first saw the trailer for it, it didn't look that good, in my opinion. The story's basically like, hey, what if the asteroid never actually hit?
Right, I didn't see any trailers for it other than like the one that's before another movie where the asteroid misses Earth and then it just says The Good Dinosaur and there's no plot revealed.
Yeah, the teasers.
Well,
I think.
Teasers.
What plot did they have to reveal?
Yeah, they didn't have a plot. They didn't even show a plot in the trailers at all.
They didn't show a plot in the movie either.
Yeah, but
they had a good idea, I think, for the start, like to base it off of, but and I think there could have just been so much more done with the movie. It could have been a great movie, but
it didn't. It honestly kind of went from being good to It's like not even a B movie, unfortunately.
Well,
it's
the
like
plot was just not original. It wasn't creative. They didn't build it well. They put in your very predictable Disney plot twists and...
Plot twists?
Yeah. Like, spoiler alert, Henry dies.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Hello, that's Disney for you.
Yep. Henry is the dad in this movie, and halfway through, first part, Henry dies.
So,
oh my god, shut up. Man.
Beyond that, the whole point of the movie is Runt Dinosaur, who isn't expected to amount to much, gets lost and has to find his way home. And along the way, he meets a couple of friends and has heartwarming adventures, all while learning that
he doesn't need to be afraid.
He doesn't need to be afraid of stuff. So, wow, hello, that sounds like a brilliant, never-before-done original concept.
Yeah, and throughout the entire movie, we were sitting somewhere in the back, and the entire time, as the main character Arlo, who names your kid Arlo? There's probably someone out there.
It's a
better name than Buck.
Buck and Libby.
Oh, there's got to be some pretty bad other names in that movie. Those pterodactyls. It's not like
Thunderclap.
I make those whenever I make a fart.
And
that was
and then there was I liked the T-Rexes.
There was T-Rexes in there, and they were supposed to be ranchers.
Ranchers.
Yeah, they were ranchers.
Yeah,
but they didn't add anything to the development of the plot.
It was a fun idea, but that was it. They were just basically there to. They saved him once, and they taught him a lesson he should have known already.
Yeah. In fact, Arlo's family, these Brontosauri, or whatever they're called, they're farmers. They farm corn, and they even have tools for this. They even build a house, which I'm just like, how did they do that?
And they have chickens for almost no reason.
They don't. Yeah, they have
they're
chickens
herbivores.
Yeah, they're herbivores and they have chickens for some reason. And Arlo's job, because each of the family has a different job, and each of the kids have a different chore. If I remember correctly, Libby's is water the plants.
Yep.
Buck is like to
Clear the field.
mm-hmm. And Arlo's is to feed the chickens. And each of them make a mark at some point. Henry and the mother, Ida, you never hear her name. For at least once you hear her name, though. They make this silo in order to hold the corn. Meanwhile, Buck, he clears a field all by himself, and then Libby is able to dig, well, like...
She plows it.
Plows an entire field by herself. And those are their marks. But then Arlo just, like, feeds the chickens.
Come to think of it, that's honestly just a waste of food, if anything. I mean, Arlo's job is to waste food on the chickens.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's no point for the chickens, then...
The only reason why they were there was just comedic effect, I guess.
Yeah. I mean...
And then Henry gives Arlo another job to catch the critter, Spot, and kill him in order to make sure that he stops eating all their food. And he fails that job, even. Which then proceeds in Henry dying.
Yes, which somehow he blamed the critter for that, and...
Yeah.
Which isn't even that well communicated throughout the movie, I mean...
And the entire time, as I was mentioning before we also went off track, we were in the back, and all the times that Arlo was messing up or even doing something, Nathan and I were just joking, pretending to be Henry, just like, son, you're a disappointment to this family. Please get the fuck out.
Just...
Because he was.
I mean...
Phone buzzing.
So, plot development, bad.
Yes.
Very bad. Character development, though. Arlo's character development was done well.
It was kind of... Honestly, I thought it was kind of off a blueprint.
It was off a blueprint, but the blueprint works. And that's why they do it.
I mean, fair enough.
I mean, it wasn't anything immaculate, but at least, you know, he showed progression at a reasonable pace throughout the movie. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm not afraid anymore now. It was, you know...
I mean, which, you know, come to think of it, that's kind of probably the reason the T-Rexes were kind of there. They kind of helped provide a little bit of...
It was kind of like the final it was the final realization of, you don't have to be, you can be scared, but you don't have to be afraid all the time, kind of thing, I guess.
I mean, the movie... I guess it wasn't it wasn't a terrible movie here. I mean, it's not like we're setting out on a goal to say this movie's an absolutely terrible movie. It's just...
No.
It was nothing special.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. It's like a C movie.
The animation, though.
The animation, though, was very good.
The nature scenes were incredible. Like, some of those scenes, I could have sworn that it was a photo or a video taken by National Geographic or something and put in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was great animations. Like,
it was kind of a reverse version of Toy Story, because Toy Story had a really good storyline, but the animation was really bad. But then again, for that time,
1995, 4.
Yeah,
I think we can cut them a little slack.
Yeah, we can cut a little slack. But The Good Dinosaur, on the other hand, it wasn't really that good. In fact, it was kind of the reverse. So, I mean, what was with that? And one of the things that we really enjoyed were the T-Rexes, though.
I was happy that they weren't the villains for the first time in any movie.
Yeah, you always see T-Rexes being villains. And also, they were galloping, because since they were ranchers, they apparently were, like, riding on horses. They literally, at one point, even go, "Yah!" and then start galloping by themselves. And I'm just like...
Why even with the whole, yeah? I mean, I found that hilarious. But
it was hilarious, and I loved the characters. But it was just, like, so odd, and just like, okay.
Then there's a few things that is I was kind of wondering why they put in there. Like, the whole...
the whole drug montage?
Yes.
That's the thing about this movie. You think it's for kids, but then it has scenes in it where you're just like, How is this not PG-13?
Yeah, so Arlo and Spot eat some rotten berries and take an acid trip, pretty much.
Yeah, and they just have an acid trip all of a sudden. Like, all of a sudden, Spot's head gets big, and then all of a sudden, Arlo starts growing a bunch of eyes, and then that scene frightened me.
Right.
It frightened me, in fact. I was just like, I'm going to have nightmares about this.
And then the big T-Rex talks about drowning crocodiles in his own blood. Like, that's kind of gruesome for Disney. I think.
And a decapitation of a bug.
A very graphic decapitation of a bug.
You know, for kids.
I'm 18, and that bothered me.
The bug, it wasn't like a little itty bitty bug.
No, this was a bug about this big.
It was like the size of a cat.
Yeah, then he just straight up rips the head off, and oh man.
And
I mean, there's something.
It's so violent and drugging. You wouldn't expect that in a kids movie. And I understand kids movies often like have adult jokes in it.
Like Shrek. Shrek did a great job with a lot of that stuff. Like,
yeah, or I think Toy Story did some, in fact. And God, what was that? There's another really funny scene in a. Oh yeah, the whole penis and fucking The Little Mermaid. Like, those are really good adult jokes. These aren't even good as adult jokes.
I mean,
they're just awkward and kind of scary.
I mean, why put that? I mean, it's not like an adult's gonna be like, that's acid. Oh, how funny.
The only clear adult joke that I remember in The Good Dinosaur was when Arlo said, "Look here, you cluckers."
And even then, that's not that good.
No, and any kid who has heard "fuck" knows that that's what that means. Like any kid past the age of 7 could figure that one out.
In fact, not even that. If you're like a 4-year-old and heard the word "fuck" at least one point, you'll instantly be like, "Fuck, clock."
Yeah, you could just easily mistake cluckers for cluckers, in fact.
Yeah, so even the adult jokes aren't really that good, and even if there were any more, they weren't even that memorable.
I mean, you don't need adult jokes in a Disney film, but it really helps.
And it makes up for the parents being dragged there, but
I mean, which they know, they clearly know. I mean, there's some movies. Again, I'm going to bring back Shrek here, that had like 5 or 6 at least easily that were super memorable. I mean...
Name one, I don't actually...
okay, for instance, one time, Lord Farquaad's watching a picture of Fiona, and and he looks down at the blanket, and he's like, ooh. Or then...
Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?
Or
that one.
Yep.
Right, okay. Those are good jokes. And when I was a kid, I never got that. But, I mean, Good Dinosaur, Jesus Christ. Let's talk about the ending, actually. Let's talk about that quickly. The ending was bad.
There was no closure.
Here's spoilers.
No, there's no spoilers.
You can't spoil the movie.
No, there's not even spoilers. What happens, though, is that these pterodactyls that are, like, a cult, I guess, because they're all obsessive with a storm, take Spot and go to this mountain and terrorize him.
Why don't they go up the mountain is what I was wondering.
Yeah, I thought they went up the mountain in fact, but I guess they didn't. But then all of a sudden,
they dropped him partway through or something.
Maybe. But then all of a sudden, Arlo gets tangled up in some vines, and then his dad comes to save him. But his dad's dead, so we're all just like, oh fuck, this is going to be like a horror shit all of a sudden. We were honestly, because like, Henry starts walking, and then Arno's just like, no, I need to go save my friend. And then Henry just stands there. You don't see his face, he's just standing there looking away from you, the screen. And the entire time I was thinking, fuck, he's going to turn around, he's going to look all scary and everything.
And then,
he doesn't,
well,
but still.
I honestly didn't picture that, but I was just like, I'm like, is the point of this to kind of just push Arlo over the edge to being suddenly courageous now? I mean, is that...
Yes. That was exactly the point.
Yeah. And it did that, and
It wasn't good.
Then there's that like the dead end of the movie, and oh man, okay. At some point in the movie, you find out that the kid's family is dead, and and so then everybody's like, oh, and it wasn't actually hard. Like you felt something moment. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, kid's family's dead. Oh well.
Actually, you know what? I want to quickly say, the way that Henry dies is by a giant river sweeping him away. And then at the end of the movie, the same, in fact, possibly bigger wave of stuff comes to take Spot away. And then Arlo jumps in front and blocks the river from hitting Spot. And is all of a sudden okay.
Not just bigger, but full of debris.
Yeah, so you're just like, how is he alive?
Like the exact same thing that happened in the beginning of the movie.
In fact, probably even worse. Keeps Arlo alive, but then also kills his dad. I'm just like, you're sure he's not just like swept up somewhere? He could be fine.
I had money on the fact that Arlo's dad was going to come back the whole time.
Yeah.
I was so totally waiting for
which they should
Arlo's dad to come back, and I was really upset when the movie ended without Arlo's dad coming back.
Yep.
Speaking of which, let's go back to the ending.
I wasn't upset with that, I guess. I mean, honestly, I think I might have been more upset with the fact if he came back, simply because it was a good motivating factor for Arlo and his family, but
it wasn't that good.
I mean, it was expected. I don't know.
It's Disney. If there's more than one parent alive, you gotta kill them both.
How to Train Your Dragon. They literally brought the mom back just so they could kill the dad, it seemed like.
Let's talk about...
Oh my god,
the
you're right.
movie.
Let's talk about this for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. The Good Dinosaur is a Pixar movie.
Yes.
Okay. You said last night, I believe, that in like most Disney movies or all the Pixar movies, one or both parents are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this movie follows Inside Out, which was released over the summer. That's a Pixar movie, and that movie was really good.
Yes, and both parents are alive.
And both parents are alive the whole time.
Yeah.
But do you think that maybe this project might have been rushed or maybe fallen by the wayside a little bit in lieu of making Inside Out as good as it was?
Maybe what they were trying to do is make it so like Inside Out wasn't supposed to be that good, but it turned out to actually be really good.
Well, I guess I haven't seen Inside Out yet, so I can't really speak towards that.
I mean, the great thing about Inside Out, and you guys should really watch it,
well, we'll watch
it's really a novel concept. It's fresh and it's intelligent and it's very well executed. And it has all the ups and downs that Pixar does and that Disney does.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you smile and laugh and cry all in 1 hour and a half long journey. Like perfect Disney magic should be. Good Dinosaur, there was like 1 or 2 happy moments and the rest of the movie was just sad.
Yeah, well, honestly, I didn't really feel like, okay, I felt sad at that point when he was talking about when you found out that the kid's family was dead. I was kind of sad when his dad died, but I expected it, so it wasn't really that bad.
Mm-hmm.
There was like one point in it though where you were just like, ooh, that's right in the feels.
But
what
like
was that point?
That was the kid's family, and Arlo's, and that was the whole family scene with Arlo and the kid.
Right.
Like,
even then you expect it.
Most Disney and Pixar movies kind of have this sine wave of emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one was like flat.
It was like happy.
It was very flat. There was one scene of comic relief, like good comic relief, when Arlo meets the Triceratops.
Yeah, with the
that scene gave me hope for the rest of the movie. Like, yay, here's one of those comic relief scenes. This is going to be an up and down kind of movie, and I like those kinds of movies. And then it just kind of, like, that was the high point, and then it just kind of...
It went back down.
Declined.
But then when it went back to the T-Rex, it went a little bit back.
A little bit back.
Yeah.
Not that much.
No.
Yeah. And, well, I guess we still haven't really talked...
We didn't talk about the ending.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the ending yet. We kind of got off track.
I'm going to want to talk about the music, too. Because that's a key aspect to any movie.
Yeah. The ending, Okay, so basically, movie ends. I don't know, spoilers.
No spoilers. We've already talked about the whole plot.
Okay. basically, Spot, as we said before, his family's dead. Then he starts howling like for some reason, and then all of a sudden like
he has a lot of physical behaviors like a dog.
Yes, like he howls, and all of a sudden there's this other family that howls, and at the end of the movie, this other family of humans,
albino humans.
No. Yes, they have like white hair and everything, and obviously aren't his family. Come in and are just like, hey, they don't speak, but you can tell that basically Spot's going to go live with them.
Yeah.
Spot wants to go with Arlo. Arlo's like, no, you must be with your family, and even draws a circle around them like
which
you did before.
Was a complete turn that rather than what happened before. Like when he literally pulled Spot away from, like, because
yeah, at one point. Oh, right. At one point, Spot wants to go, like, he sees the man and is going to go with them, but then Arlo pulls him away. But then all of a sudden, at the end of the movie, it's just like, Arlo wants him to go. It's just like, what happened? Didn't you want him to be with you?
There was a sudden turnaround, but, I mean...
My theory there is that Arlo needed Spot to be his traveling companion.
Spot kind of kept him sane.
Yeah.
But even then, it was like at the end.
They kind of relied on each other. And then at the end, that whole scene takes place when Arlo is right, like, at the border of his home.
But he was so close to home where he didn't really need it. Whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And then when he gets back, you just see his family kind of picking up the last of the harvest.
His mother's basically lying on the ground, like, picking it. And then she sees Arlo, and it's just like, Henry? And it's like, nope, it's actually Arlo. So then she rushes over to him, hugs him. Buck and Libby come by, hug him. And then the movie just ends. Well, no. He puts his mark on the silo, and then the movie ends.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's just like, okay, he put...
That's it?
It was like, I mean, honestly, I still kind of thought the family was going to be kind of screwed after that anyway, because, I mean... Yeah, Arlo's going to be probably pulling a little bit more work here, I mean, but...
In fact, you know what? I just remembered this. When there's a scene where Arlo and his mother, Ida, are harvesting the corn. Like, they're getting the corn out of the fields, they're plucking it and everything, putting it on their backs. Where fucking Libby? You don't see them at all in that scene. And then later, at the end, where... his mother is getting the last corn. She's obviously looking like she's on her deathbed. And Nathan saw them, Buck and Libby, in the top right corner. And then all of a sudden they run it. So
they were
they're
probably
there.
doing the same thing. I mean...
They were probably, but it looks like... It's like, why aren't they helping?
I mean...
It didn't look like they were helping at all.
And here's the thing. Their chores were very... like, you don't have... Like... It's not like they're going to want to expand the farm all the time. I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, you're going to feed, what, like, you have 4 mouths to feed?
Yeah.
And then here's one thing I really want. I mean, I hadn't seen, like, any other brachiosauruses throughout any of the movie.
You know, each species of dinosaur only appeared... like, you know, in one small group.
And only once.
Like, Arlo's family is one species.
Mm-hmm.
The pterodactyls.
Mm-hmm.
Got 1 triceratops. The 3 T-Rexes.
And then the raptors.
Oh yeah, and the raptors.
Yeah.
But that's it. And it was only in those pods, and there was nothing else roaming around, except, like, you know, little furry critters. And
we saw, like, what? Like 10 dinosaurs total? 4, 3...
Arlo's
5.
family is 5, 3 pterodactyls. No, 4 pterodactyls.
Yeah. Come to think of it, where did the 4th one even come from?
No, there were 5.
There were 5?
Oh,
No,
that's
there were
right.
4.
No.
No, I'm thinking of the raptors.
The numbers don't count. Like, right, well, yeah.
5 raptors, so that makes 14, and then 3 T-Rexes, 17 dinosaurs.
So closer to 20, but still, I kind of expected to see a little bit more.
I think, overall, Disney should stay away from dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Because this movie didn't go very well. And neither did Dinosaur, like 10 or 12 years ago when that came out.
Oh, wasn't that like... I don't remember that movie. Was that... Oh, wait, I might.
That was about the world ending.
Was that
for
like...
the dinosaurs.
Was that... Alright, that was like... Oh, that was a little bit more real-looking movie, kind of.
A little
right?
bit, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you
Dinosaur.
mean. Okay. Oh, and then... It used different species of dinosaurs, though, right? Like, it used, like,
Yeah,
lesser-known ones.
I believe so. 2000?
Yeah.
Disney?
Let's see, can you, like, pull up an image or something?
That's not
of
it.
That's not it?
There's no way that's it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
maybe that is it. Yeah, that is it.
Can you, like, find a picture of... Yep.
Oh!
Yep.
That movie. Here's a couple pictures of it. I remember that.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Disney needs to stay away from dinosaurs. Disney needs to stay away from Mars. And for the love of Christ, Disney needs to stay away from vehicles with faces for a while.
Oh, Cars 1 was a good movie.
Cars 1 was good. Cars 2, I enjoyed it. It wasn't necessary, but I enjoyed it.
Like the Kung Fu Panda movies. Those were good.
Cars 3, unnecessary. Planes, unnecessary.
Yeah.
Planes 2, holy fuck, unnecessary. And if they make trains or boats, I'm gonna probably hang someone.
I didn't even know they made a Planes too.
They did. It went straight to DVD.
Sorry about that. The camera, basically storage went up. Camera's about to die. So what we're going to do is that Jason's going to give his quick description, and then we're going to wrap it up.
All right. So, I'm a composer. I compose for film, and one of the things that I look at when I'm watching any movie is how effective the music is and who the composers are. So for The Good Dinosaur, the Bana brothers did the composing, and I'm not overly familiar with their work. But I will say that the music in The Good Dinosaur, for the most part, was about as flat as the plot. Music is supposed to enhance the emotional impact of the plot points. And there were only two places in the movie that I can remember that happening, and one of them doesn't even count. It's the opening, the title sequence, and the only thing I really remember about that is the instrumentation not making a whole lot of sense. It was like Home on the Range meets Brave. Weird combination, doesn't work with dinosaurs, very country-esque, like up in the mountains fiddle.
And then the other one was...
the scene where Arlo lets Spot go. I thought that the music did well, enhancing the sadness associated with that. But for the most part, the music was very predictable, very formulaic, didn't do much to enhance the already dud plot, and I definitely won't be buying the album on iTunes.
Yep. So basically, it's good for a Netflix movie where you don't have to pay anything and it doesn't really worth that much. So put it on if your kids are like complaining a lot, but only if they're 6 and under, because only they will enjoy it. But it's not something you want to buy or put your money towards. It's not really that much to waste. If you're going to buy good dinosaur merchandise, why are you doing that? And that's pretty much it. So I like this, and these guys do too. So if you want to see more of these reviews, we'll probably do more of these. So if you like it, just let us know. Anyway, I'm Jordan Cruzy. This is Jason. This is Nathan, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.